Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to this Build with Glide. I'm your host, Brett Harrelson, and today we're going to be talking about work order management. Joining us today are three amazing ladies who have done some incredible stuff. Welcome, everybody. Joining us is Megann, Lindsey, and Sadie. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome.
This is exciting. I'm really excited for this Build with Glide because we have an incredible solution that Megann has built for her clients, my Marketing Assistant, which is Sadie and Lindsey. Before we get into this, first off, I'm glad you're here. And let's talk a little bit about each of you. If you want to give a quick intro, Megann, let's start with you. Then let's jump into Lindsey and then Sadie.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Megann. I'm a Glide expert. I've been with Glide for a few years now, and I love working with clients like Sadie and Lindsey. And yeah, that's a little about me.
So Lindsey, I want you to tell us about you, but first tell us what is My Marketing Assistant.
Well, My Marketing Assistant really is our technology answer to marketing services. So I've been in marketing and entrepreneurship for a really long time. I was a digital marketing manager before I did any of this other cool stuff I did. And I know what it's like to be in those roles without help and resources. And it's hard to do that without it costing a lot of money. And so that was My Marketing Assistant was born. We needed technology to help solve those problems.
I love that. Sadie, what role do you facilitate at My Marketing Assistant?
Yeah, I am the project manager at My Marketing Assistant. I've worked with Lindsey in the past. And so when she told me about this great idea that she had for a new company, it was a no-brainer to come over and work with her again. And it's been amazing. It's an amazing product. It's an amazing brand. I think it's an answer to a lot of people's marketing issues, and I'm really excited to be here.
So I love that, and I'm really excited to explore it. So let's kind of talk a little bit about what you needed, what your business needed for this solution. What were your needs, really? I would say.
Yeah. So we talk about, using Glide for a lot of different things, right? Like to help our business or to fill a hole. But for us, this platform is the business. We wouldn't have My Marketing Assistant without it. Otherwise, you would just be hiring a marketing professional and sending them emails when you needed things, and they would be doing the work. And so for me, it isn't that the business needed a solution. It is the business. So it is a platform, dashboard. Sadie and I keep being like, we have to come up with a word and stick with it. But we're new, so people can forgive us. But have this dashboard that's a central communication point. It's a central place for all tasks, all the things that are getting done to be the cornerstone of everything. And so we really didn't launch My Marketing Assistant until we started building this with Megann.
That's incredible. What sort of elements are needed? And I know that we'll have a screen share. So for those who are watching, first off, we're going to talk a little bit about what My Marketing Assistant uses, needs. Then we're going to look at the product. And then Megann's going to give us an incredible deep dive of kind of the nuts and bolts and how it was built. By the way, you've got some incredible love coming at you, Megann. People are loving your Glide shirt. I love that. So
yeah.
So Lindsey, let me ask you a follow-up to that. When we're talking about what certain things did you need for this product to work so you could service your clientele?
Yeah. So at the very beginning, it was we had like grand ideas, but we're like, we just have to get to this MVP to prove concept and to get clients. And so that's really what we originally thought we were coming to Megann for, was to get us off the ground, get clients coming in and paying, and then move on to bigger and better things, right? Turns out we haven't needed that. I don't know when we will. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, I think, for our conversation. But originally, we really just wanted people to come in, see a choice of task, right? So this high-level marketing task, be able to say, these are the things we need in order to turn this task around, to give a deliverable or a product out of it, and then to be able to communicate on that ticket ongoing. And then we started growing our needs from there. But that was really the first ask, was here's the list of things. Someone comes in and chooses their thing. They give us the information they need, and then we deliver it all in the same screen. Oh, and charge them.
Well, of course, it's a business.
Yeah.
Megann, my question to you is when listening and working with Lindsey and Sadie and hearing the things that they needed in their idea and vision for their business, how did your mind work? How did you put this together? And were there any gaps from what they wanted to the technological solution? How did that work in your mind?
Well, I will say I was thankful to be able to start working with them at a very early stage. So, they still had some big concepts. They had, I will say, what they brought to the table was this amazing, detailed, organized list of, common marketing tasks that marketing directors in, any industry will do, such as creating content for a social media channel or editing website content. They had all of these tasks that could really apply to any industry, but they wanted to be able to offer those tasks to their clients, right? And allow them to do all of that internal communication and provide the deliverable to them, all in one area. So, seeing that at its early stage, really, we just started with their list of marketing tasks. And I work with clients often on like a consultation basis. So we would, get a few calls on my schedule, and we would try to meet weekly and map out a more clearer, path towards their big goals that they're wanting. And I think there were some gaps here and there when it comes to like certain features, like SMS notifications. Back when we started building this, it was not integrations weren't even, there, right? So they didn't exist yet. We could do SMS notifications, but it would be kind of a tricky workaround. I mean, all the people who know about that back then, it's kind of a pain. And so we really closed some of those gaps once Glide launched, those integrations. So yeah.
I love that. And as Glide evolves and becomes more powerful, there's so many more features that people can leverage and use and do a lot more with. So I kind of want to see this. I'm excited to see this. Sadie, do you want to show us a little bit, maybe what it looks like? I'm gonna bring your screen up.
Yeah. I would love to show you guys.
So what are we looking at here?
So this is what you would see if you were a client. Obviously, this is me here, so we're going to pretend that I'm a client. And you want to come in here and you want to select a task. You're brought to this screen, and you have a very long selection of tasks that you can choose from. I thought that I would walk you guys through a couple of our most popular ones just to kind of give you a little bit of a feel for it. So one of the most popular tasks that we do, it is on our list weekly, if not daily, is a social media content calendar. This is a task that somebody would select if they want to have Facebook posts for the entire month of August. They would let us know, what brand this is for. Sometimes people work with multiple brands. And then, what they're looking for in their calendar. If they have images that they want us to use, they can provide those. If not, we'll make our own. And we will build out an entire monthly calendar for them. So instead of building a whole new task, I already have one here that was from a client of ours. This task, you can see here that they wanted Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. They give us the key message, a description, any additional notes that they have. And then we start working. My job as project manager, I get in touch with one of our specialists and let them know that this task is available and ready for them to start working on it. They do their thing. They respond here in the team comments and let me know, that, hey, it's ready to be QC'd. I will take a look at it, make sure that it is matching, the voice and the brand guidelines that we're hitting, what the client asked for, and then we'll send it over to the client themselves. So
which is in the same screen.
Yes,
right?
Yes, exactly.
Wait. Just we've got to, this is, let's dial this back. So what's happened here, okay, is one of your clients has come in, chosen from a list of options, and this is a social post, and they've chosen what all they want to send to the social post, or what platforms, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Right. They've entered into their information. It's gone into your work order queue. And now here's the here's the item, that's the task item, and now here's team comments.
Exactly.
All in one single thing. Now, is there a way for you to talk to the client here too?
There is, yes. If I scroll down a little bit further, this is my communication directly with the client. So the important thing to note here is in this purple box, the client is not able to see this. This is just communication between our internal team. So that way, we let the client know. Most of our tasks take 24 hours. This particular one, since it's a little bit more involved, we ask 72 hours to turn this around. But for the most part, like, this is communication between me and one of the specialists, and making sure, if I have edits, I will let her know in this case, to go back and correct them. But otherwise, once it is all ready, it is past QC, then I will let the client know, and they can take a look at it. They can actually see the calendar, see the post that we created, and hit approval if they approve it. If not, they can come in and say, oh, this particular post, I would like to make, some slight changes. But otherwise, we just keep working until they're happy.
So when you've completed the task, there's a whole nother checklist. Then it goes to your client, and the client sees what you're going to post, right, and they approve it. And this is all within Glide. This is all within your platform.
All within Glide, yes. And this is the whole task for social media creation. We have another task after this. So let's say in this instance, this one is for Kelly, that she approved this content calendar for August. If she hits approve, we get notification that it has been approved. And then she can go in, if she wants us to actually post these and schedule them out for the duration of the month, she can create another task. We can go back to the screen here, and there's a task, I believe it's somewhere at the bottom here. For
right. So if the client doesn't want to have to go on and to all of their accounts and, post it themselves, they can actually have them post it for them.
Exactly.
So just so everybody knows too, we are in a live environment. So we're going to try to be selective what we show, because there is internal stuff here. So, but this is incredible. Lindsey, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you were thinking of this and what you needed, did you look at any other potential off-the-shelf solutions that would have done all of this? Or do you know anyone that's done something or tried to do something like this as a comparison? Because I know we're not done yet, but this is very thorough.
Thank you. There are some off-the-shelf options that are just ticket creations, right? Like help scout type things. It just wasn't robust enough. My other business is called Content Journey. We're a higher end, high touch marketing services company. And I didn't feel that whenever we started this arm or this business, that I wanted to still have that same high touch feeling. I wanted people to still feel really taken care of. Not that ticketing systems can't do that. Like, there are fantastic support teams out there doing really great work, but I needed to have access to brand guides and voice guides and the colors and the fonts that we were going to use.
And that's a whole nother area.
Absolutely. And so there wasn't really anything off the shelf that could offer all of the things that we needed like this. So for example, if you would have been going into a ticket system, you'd be like, okay, what business is this for? Which colors are you wanting to use? What are your fonts? And now we have it uploaded at the very beginning. We have onboarding calls that are recorded and kept in their client profiles, so that if anyone is new to the account, they can go in and watch my first conversation with the new client. And so we really needed, and I stayed really, with my partner, saying like, we're not launching anything until we have the technology figured out. And so had to, handle some pushback in that, but that there wasn't anything out there that could offer what I was envisioning.
I love this. And I see you've got some love. Nathaniel loves it. And I want to ask this one I want to ask this one real quick. Darren asked a really good question. Are you using push notifications or SMS for your clients?
Megan, you can answer that.
Email. So right now we're using email and SMS. A lot of their clients, I imagine, use it from their desktop. And so we haven't really seen the need for the push notifications yet, but it's definitely on our punch list, right? So we're using email and SMS, which the user actually indicates in their profile what their preference is. So
yeah, exactly.
You have that configured as well. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you, and we can kind of go through that, but yeah, it's part of their onboarding. And then obviously they can adjust it in their, profile, little icon up there at the top.
I love that. Sadie, I feel like I derailed your beautiful presentation here because we just got into it. What
No,
else
it's okay.
would you like to show us? So we've seen the client where they will come in the client view and have a choice of things, then submit. Now we see how your team, the screen, how you interact with their requests as a task moving through your system. So what else would you like to show?
Yeah, one thing I did want to mention when Lindsey was speaking there about brand profiles, every client, when they come in and onboard, we give them the opportunity to upload all their brand assets. So this is one you're seeing like for My Marketing Assistant, obviously. And if you work with multiple brands, you can come in here and you can upload as many brands as you'd like. And that way, when you're creating a new task, you can select which brand this is for. And then our specialists have all the information that they need to make sure that the assets that they're building are branded correctly.
Or on brand, right. Yeah.
Right. One other task I did want to walk through really quick, just to give you like a little bit of a variety. This is another one that we've received a lot lately. We have clients who, I mean, everybody kind of uses, Chat GPT or various forms of AI now. And one that we've seen a lot come through is this edit content task. And basically what this one is we've had clients who have generated something like, let's say, a blog from Chat GPT, but it doesn't quite sound right.
Yeah.
And so they turn it over to us and basically ask us to make it sound human. So, here's what they did. They attached a doc where they just copy and pasted what Chat GPT gave them. They gave us all the information, the key message, the target audience that this is aimed to, the keywords that they want to use. And so we will go through the whole process, same as before. We will, internally communicate with our team to make sure that, they understand the task. They know that it's there. They know that the deadline that they have, and they can turn, this one in this case over and make it sound, a more human touch. So we're not all sounding like robots when we put our content out there. But this is just a couple of examples that I wanted to give what we do on the My Marketing Assistant side, and then also what Glide is able to do.
And if there's ever any point, since you're on that spot on the screen, Sadie, if there's ever any point where you need, sometimes clients will just like submit tasks and add all of the, necessary uploaded stuff that they need to send you guys. If there's ever a point where they're kind of like in limbo, waiting for the client to respond to something or waiting for the client to finish uploading, I don't know, the necessary files that they need to work on it, those buttons at the top are only visible to the My Marketing Assistant team. Right. So, they can update it to, like, if she clicked on update status, she could change it to waiting on client and then send them a notification where it would then trigger whatever the user has set up as their preference, right? It would be an SMS or an email. So that way they can constantly stay connected with their clients, which is, I think, really what sets them apart from a lot of other, marketing companies. So,
yeah, no, I appreciate that, Megan. And I think the part of us wanting to do that is because we have promises that we're going to get these things done in 24 or 48 hours, depending on the plan that people choose. And the only way to do that is to have what we can get from a client, to do a great job, but then also to stay communicative. So the email and the SMS really helped with that, so that we can keep continuing to fulfill our brand promise of being responsive and getting it done the right way.
Right.
To me, this, like, looking at this, I would not have realized this was Glide. To me, this looks like a full-blown solution that is built for exactly what you need, that's targeting your niche market. And I, watching and seeing some of these things, I see so many other use cases of other businesses that could absolutely use this. I mean, this is really, really robust and powerful, Megan. And I'm so glad it's working for y'all, Lindsey and Sadie, because I know y'all are killing it, and I love that.
Oh, another thing too, since you're on that spot right there, like the assistant and team member. So each client has a dedicated assistant and or optionally a team member. However, sometimes maybe the default assistant that is assigned to that client, you may want to have some wiggle room where they could maybe pass it off onto someone else, or someone's on vacation, so they can also change who is actually assigned to that task. So that helps too, because they can also change the assistant that's assigned to it and then notify that assistant or specialist rather, that
Absolutely.
the task is available for them to complete.
Well, and that's why we do that, for that reason. Like, we have like our video person, Garrett, who does an amazing job editing video and audio for us, may not be the best at creating social media calendars,
Right.
right? Or if somebody is doing, Tatiana's, editing a document, she doesn't know a lot about audio, editing.
Right.
And so that way we're able to be like, these people are the best at what they do. They may even have industry experience, is why we would choose a specialist, particularly for a task. And so Sadie's making really intelligent choices on this back end to be like, which specialist is going to do this task for this client to get it done quickly and the right way, right? Like that's the two things: fast and done the right way every single time.
For sure.
I love this. This is really, really, really powerful. So Sadie, is there anything else you want to show us? Because I really want to see how Megann did this.
Yeah, I'll kick it back over to you.
So Megann, there's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, there is a lot.
I think there's a lot. I think, and by the way, anybody watching, if you want to ask Megann a question or something, because we're about to go to her screen share, to me, it seems like task creation is a really big item. Communication was a really big item. That's internal and customer. Like, I think those are great places to start. So let me know, and if I can pull your screen up.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm ready. I've got mine. I've got it. So we've got lots going on back here on the back end, and I'll try to look and make sure that we've got the comments and stuff. If you have questions, just tell me, Brett.
You got it.
But yeah, we've got lots of components here. As far as like, the view that we're looking at right now, this is a client view, Dolly Parton. And so obviously when Dolly comes in and logs in for the first time, she's prompted to create a brand style. And obviously they can go back over here and add additional brand styles. But those brands kind of flow into all sorts of facets of the app. But we wanted to make the home screen like, the most important thing. So when a client comes to log in and use My Marketing Assistant services, they're going to want to see their task options right off the bat. So we decided to make this the landing, which would be all of the tasks, available to them based on their specific tier, which I guess, I mean, Lindsay, you might be able to speak to that a little bit more, but each tier has a different set of tasks, right? Yeah, I think that's kind of how we configured it. So depending on the client that I'm viewing as, this might change what I'm seeing down here below.
Right. And you're on tier 3 with Dolly, which shows like everything, even our tasks that are in like testing.
Right.
But
I think I have
like different things.
Another one that's a little less.
It's okay. Show everybody what's coming down the pike.
So there's like less depending on what tier you are on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and if you are a frequent user of My Marketing Assistant, you also might see suggestions, right? So if you frequently, are creating a certain task or submitting a certain task for My Marketing Assistant to complete, we've kind of related all of the tasks on the back end so that it can kind of pick up additional tasks to suggest to them. I don't know which one would be the best to preview as.
Well, it's like if you have if you're doing a content calendar, you obviously want scheduling after that. If you've had content edited, you want that to be published to your website, right? And so those would just automatically come up as a correlation so that it saves people time.
Yeah, and I think did you have some suggested ones? No, you didn't. Anyways, no, the all of the components are really, really complex over here. So we've got we've got a lot going on. So, and I don't want to preview as any actual clients because I don't want to, obviously expose
Of
any
course.
personally identifiable information. But when the client receives comments on certain tasks, those will pop up right above here. If there are any tasks that are being suggested for them, it's going to show up over here, which is a little bit above the comment notifications. But this is just the home page, so not too much. But once you start getting into like a specific task, so let me see if I've got one on my other one here. Okay, so if I go over to active, I think I might have an active task. No, I don't. Once you go to a task detail screen, so I'll just go ahead and submit one. Just ignore it, you guys, if you get notified. Okay.
Dolly, this is not the real Dolly. She's
Not
really
real
submitting
Dolly
tasks.
Parton, unfortunately, although that would be cool.
Dolly's our patron saint, so she's always our
Yeah.
person. And when we do like Team Slack trivia
Yeah.
once a week, the answer is usually some kind of a Dolly Parton song.
Yeah.
So that's why we see Dolly everywhere.
Right. So this on submit action is actually quite complex, and I will say it's like pretty scary looking in there, but it really takes care of all of the notifying. So for instance, if someone has indicated that they prefer SMS notifications, then we're going to call Twilio, the integration, the Twilio integration. If someone indicates that they prefer email notifications, then we're going to call, we just use the send email action, but that way it's really handy because they can click open app right there and get right in. But this, all the components here, quite a bit. We do see the option for them to like schedule, right? So they could schedule it for the future if they didn't want to go ahead and submit it right now. And then obviously they can indicate a date where they would want it to show up, and want it to be active. So I'm going to go ahead and click submit now. I would have to say that this detail screen, which we were looking at in Sadie's share earlier, this is of the client's view, right? So we don't see a lot of these other options that we saw with Sadie's view, and we kind of get this little hint like we need some stuff from you, like don't go away just yet, right? So they can scroll down and then they see all these input fields. Now, I will say, and one of the questions we kind of discussed talking about was like, some of the more challenging parts to build. When you're thinking about a standardized list of tasks, and you think about, okay, well, as far as input goes from the client, what necessarily might they need to give to Sadie and Lindsey and their team, it's going to vary quite a bit depending on what task they're submitting, So that was probably the most comprehensive part of building. But as far as this screen goes, yeah, so I wonder if I can pull this out a little more, maybe. There's a lot going on here. I don't know if y'all see that. I'm still scrolling. It's quite complex, okay? So it's a lot. But that's simply just to take care of any possible fields they might need the client to upload. And on the back end, we have, the ability for the admin to kind of determine, okay, this is a social media posts task. What things do I need from the client? When they submit this, what things do I need? And so on their end, in their little admin console, they can go in and, indicate to the system in essence, what fields should be visible for this task specifically. So that's why there's so many components, is because it's literally grabbing all of the possible fields and then displaying it depending on that field's like visibility. That's kind of getting a little hairy there, getting pretty technical, but hopefully you're following.
No, I think that makes sense. I think that really, really, really makes sense.
Yeah.
I love seeing Megann or hearing Megann say like, oh, this was kind of difficult, because for our way of working with Megann, like she is the yes and person, which is like the people that I want. Like, like those are the people that I want on my team and in my life, are like people who don't tell me no. I don't think Megann's ever told me no on anything. And now that I'm looking at this dashboard, I'm like, oh yeah, she really has never told me no. And hearing her say how difficult it is, because it really is like us coming in and saying, we really want to do this thing. We really need this piece. And she's always like, maybe she takes 10 seconds to think
Right.
about it.
I have to think about it first.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, I think I know a way to do that, or make it
Yeah.
work, or have a
Yeah.
workaround, or work within the system itself that has kept us coming back for
Yeah.
more, and like
No.
taking that like little idea and being like, no, this is the solution. Like, this is the business. But yeah, but
Yeah.
I've seen it all in black and white, or I guess bright pink and cream.
Right. Yeah. This
us.
background too. I don't know if anyone's kind of noticing this. That was one of the first things that I really hesitated on. Notice now Dolly's getting some suggestions here. Obviously, this horizontal scroll bar, I don't think I've ever noticed that before, but maybe it's not on the live version. I don't know. We were really, I know, like the purple background, right? So notice their in the settings, their little appearance, right? This is their color. It's like a red. So that was one thing I struggled with at first. And really, to be honest, their project was one of the first ones that I did on Pages, and that I stuck with. Right? I mean, I know it's not Pages anymore. Pardon that. But I was learning as I was going, and they were like, we really want to incorporate our brand colors a little more prominently, because at first it was just like kind of like white and red, right? And so I did some little some trickery here with the background colors, but if you click in, you can see now we've got some red, we've got their tan, like more minor color, and then obviously we're breaking up the screen down here with that comment section. But the team members see the purple right section, so I can't see those team comments here as a client. And that was fun to build. And
you've gotten a lot of compliments from the viewers, specifically around the design and the aesthetic.
Oh yeah, well that's like, their brand. I mean, really, it's them.
Even the custom graphics for the likes. I mean, there's several, and you can see the experts that are watching. They're loving a few things. Like Nathaniel talked about how he liked how you renamed the components for clarity, and I think experts really appreciate when you see someone else's craft.
Yeah. It definitely, there's still a lot of components there that I need to go in and kind of clean up. But I will say, the task detail screen is probably the most, just kind of overwhelming part as far as all of the various components on it. But it is the most really integral piece of their platform. It's where everything happens. And so as far as like the data structure goes, that was a bit of a pain point at the beginning, trying to decide how to structure it, because there's so many moving pieces, right? And I will say that like we ended up going with a table of tasks, and then a table of options, and then a table of comments. So all of those being related to each other. And that tasks table that houses all of the client tasks and stuff and all of their uploaded content. Well, it's got quite a few columns, but it's, it's to be expected in this realm. Right. So, that was, pretty interesting to build. It's, I mean, I don't even know how many columns it is, but it's quite a few. So
Sadie's nodding. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a task creation. And I think we've really touched a bit of that. Do you want to show us how you built the communication, both internal and to the customer?
Yeah. Okay. So let me go into this again. So if I were to, let's say, add a comment here as a client, what this is going to do is send it to, I'm just going to say testing, right? I could add an attachment or share a link, right? And either of those would trigger a button, right? That would be visible on the comments. But if I go ahead and click publish, right? I'm just seeing this right here. I can't click on a comment, but if I were to, I don't know, add a file, maybe I'm going to just add a screenshot of something. I can then click into the comments, and I'll show you the comment. So see, this is clickable now, right? Because we've got something that's actually linked to it. And obviously here's that attached file. That's the photo that they had linked. But this is taking us to the comments table, which don't necessarily want to go all too detailed into it because it's a lot of communication. But essentially we're linking back to, right, the submitted task. So I'm, anytime that a client comments on something, we are basically tagging it, what task does this comment belong to? Okay, relate it back to that task. And then what's the context? Like, are we attaching something? Are we, is this an internal comment? Is it a client comment? It's a lot of very, various facets going on there. But yeah, so it's quite large. Notice how like tiny that little scroll bar is. It's a lot.
It's massive, massive.
It's a lot.
There have been some comments.
Right. Yeah. But this is allowing us to really keep that record, because, if we were to kind of confine everything regarding that one task to its row, we would, have to do some overriding stuff where every time a new comment was added, we would lose the previous. So we went with more of a more rows instead of, keeping everything more succinct. So it helps with the longevity too, of like being able to see the history and all that. So yeah.
So this really is, it's a work order management. It's also task management, but it's also an internal and external communication tool. Lindsey, do you communicate with your team really any other way now, or except through this? Is this your sole method of communication? I'm just curious.
This is where we communicate everything task-based, right? So we're still in Slack for, other team things, but if it's regarding a project or a task, it's 100% all in Glide.
And that's, if you want me to, I can kind of hop over and show that little feed of comments or
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull up. So, at the top level, the admin screen is really more of a Kanban. Let me expand this here. We're seeing these come in right here, as far as what Dolly submitted and all that. But they can also see all communication over here, which was kind of an afterthought, really. We were like, we need a place where we can just see all of the tasks, right, in a list view, and maybe just see a top level like dashboard view.
Let's explain our colors too. I love the colors. When we added that, it was like a game changer for us from a project management perspective.
Yeah, and they have that ability to kind of filter by certain things. Now this is one of the older filters. The Glide experts would know, like, they recently introduced that multi in-app filtering, which is a game changer. Some of our filters are still using the older method, but if they scroll down, obviously we can see more of a all comments feed, right? So we have all tasks up here, and then all comments down here, and then kind of seeing what is this related to, right?
And then our colors are basically like, if it's green, we're on track to deliver on time. If it's yellow, we're getting a little bit close to due date. If it's red, we're waiting on somebody. And I will say this for anybody who's looking at it now, doesn't mean everyone's waiting on us on this screen. We're waiting for clients, and it's still going to change colors.
Right. That's so true. That's so true. It goes based on a like last activity kind of date. So if there's a comment added, then obviously that color would change, right? Yeah. If there's something they're waiting on the client for, it's still going to be red. So, and that's just so that we can kind of keep those lines open, right?
Not great for achievers. Like, I guarantee you, Sadie and I both, when you first pulled that up, we're like, oh gosh, there's a red one.
No,
there's so many yellows.
I think it's definitely good. No, and I understand too. I'm like, I want everything to be green all the time.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
This is really, really thorough. I'm thinking
it's very custom. Yeah.
It is. And thinking off the top of my head, I think one of the really things I want to highlight here is how this has really become a work order management that's become an internal task. Now you manage your team with it and communications. So what's next? Like, you got, Lindsey, y'all are rocking and rolling. Y'all are getting clients. You're doing stuff. Like, what's next for you?
Yeah, I think that's one of the questions you asked before. Like, what was the finish line look like? And I don't think there is a finish line for us. I think that my team and our clients require us to continue to innovate. That's what I've loved about working with Megann, is because she always tells me yes. We get to continually innovate and add more things to our system.
Yeah.
And so for us, what's next is just to continue. Like, there's that third tier of higher level tasks that we're getting
Right.
ready to release.
Mhm.
And so
And
that's probably
review
like,
collections, right? I think
yes,
that was
review,
another thing that's on the
yeah,
queue.
which is like, that's like a very big
Yeah.
project for
Yeah.
us. But yeah, where we actually go out and are collecting reviews. That's
Mhm.
an exciting component for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, just continually trying to innovate and improve for who we serve now and who we're
Mhm.
going to serve in the future. And
Mhm.
and that's a good thing too, to just talk about working with Megann and what she did for us. For any of the experts who are listening, there were two things that I think that she did that upped the level for us. One was, you saw all that lovely behind the scenes stuff. Sadie and I don't play in that at all. She basically created toggles on
Mhm.
an admin screen so that we can make
Yes.
choices on our own that
Mhm.
affect that back end piece. And
Right, right.
so we can change, we can add a brand new task. We don't have to
Mhm.
go to Megann to be able to do that, but she created it in a way that we can do it with
Yeah,
our
it's more
knowledge level.
user-friendly.
Uh,
Yeah.
Very user friendly for us.
Mhm.
So it took something like Glide that's already fairly, comprehensive and great to work with, and made it
Mhm.
even easier for our level of
Right.
expertise. And then second was how she organized our priorities. So
Mhm.
it happened at some point over the last probably 5 months, even though we worked
Right.
together since last fall.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I have this new spreadsheet, and I need you to put a priority, like, of one of these numbers next to
Mhm.
these tasks that we have
Mhm.
for our development
Mhm.
sprints. And it's fantastic. So now when I come up with a new idea, or Sadie does, we add to the spreadsheet, and then we're forced to prioritize it above or
Mhm.
below other things that she's already working on.
Mhm.
That just keeps everything moving forward.
Right. And that
So
also
yeah.
helps guide, that also helps guide my like development priorities as well. If I see
Mhm.
two things that are really related to each other, but they have different priorities, I know I could tackle both of those at the same
Yeah.
time and still, meet their priority level for that item. And it's kind of speaks to what I was talking to Brett about a few weeks ago, that like I really do try to uh you know, help my clients succeed in like really taking in all these big ideas. I love it. And I think that it's all, should be encouraged, right? Not discouraged. And so what I often do is something I did with Lindsey and Sadie is I'll kind of, just include sort of a map of, okay, these are features that I've heard you mention, I've heard you talk about, or you've specifically requested. And then, kind of giving them some little smart chips, right? Where it's like assign a priority to this. And right next to that, usually I'll do kind of a complexity uh parameter where they can see, after I've kind of reviewed these items, I will go in and kind of indicate, okay, how complex is this feature? Is it very is it very complex, or is it easy and quick? If it's easy and quick, they might make it priority one, so it's more of a good way to kind of keep things balanced and on track, right? So
Yeah. It was a game changer for our project management between the two
yeah,
of us, or the three of us, for sure.
yeah.
It seems to me, and I love this, Megann, who is also sponsored as our August Expert of the Month. One of the things that she said is she loves being a part of a team where she's building with her clients,
Mhm.
not for her clients. And I thought this was just such a great use case, because when I spoke to all of you individually, it was just really, really incredible. And Megann, you've done something really good, and I'll point this out too. Like Nathaniel said this as well. It's a roadmap. You've
Mhm.
taken their ideas, their visions. You've made it happen, but in
Mhm.
a way that's achievable and in stages, phased
Right.
stages, right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And I love that. I want to, Megann, I want to thank you for being here and showing us the deep dive. Lindsey,
You're welcome.
Sadie, I'm loving this. How can people, first off, Lindsey, Sadie, how can people find you if they need perhaps a My Marketing Assistant, or some marketing help with their business? Where can they find you? And I'll put it in the comments too, by the way.
Yeah, mymarketingassistant.com. is the best way to get in touch with us. And it's Lindsey to email me, or Sadie to email Sadie. And we're here to, help.
I love that. Megann, you've been a rock star. You've showed us the behind the scenes, the bells and whistles, the features, and how you did it. I want to thank you for your time. If anybody's interested, how can they reach out to you? I can
put my portfolio link in the little comments box, but you're welcome to reach out to me via email or the Glide community. Really, I'm pretty open. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn too, so there's my portfolio link as well. So
that's what we said about doing this, though, is that like Megann's time is to us first. You all can love her and all of that, but she's our partner first.
I love it. So this has been an incredible build with Glide. This has blown my mind. I'm so happy to see y'all rocking with this, being extremely successful, and getting out there and killing it. And Megann, what a great success, and what a great team this is. This has been awesome.
Yeah. All right.
I appreciate
Thanks, guys.
this. Thank y'all so much for coming. Stay safe out there and glide on. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.